Hello everybody and welcome back to another video of Holland Hut. Today we do cooking and DIY. So today we're going to make a very straightforward but very complex dish. So what we're going to do is we're going to season our steak. So we're going to do steak with pan-fried carrots, Shallot Pan Sauce, and a Fennel Salad. So with your steak we have Himalayan salt, chili flakes, and black pepper. Now, before we season the steak, just get olive oil. Now, with these carrots, I've blanched them in hot water for about 3 minutes and a half because you still want a bit of bite to them. So put your pan very low because that has been heating up for a while. Started to smoke the olive oil. Just put a little bit more in. Now with our steak, you want to season it very heavily because when you put a steak into a pan, it loses 35% of its seasoning. So when you do that, you want a very nice thick crust on it. So now we're just going to season it very heavily with Himalayan salt. You can also use sea salt flakes. It's just sea salt. Himalayan sea salt is very fine and it isn't as overpowering as salt flakes. So you really want to season on that fat because that is where all your juices come from. Now we're going to go. I have bashed up my peppercorns into the pestle and mortar so it gives it a little bit more heat. If you've got a pepper grinder, make sure the pepper mill is very big chunks of pepper, because that gives it a nice heat. Now we're just going to go just a little pinch of chili flakes because you already got that heat from the pepper. So now we're just going to flip it. Now you can give it a little bit light coating of olive oil. Same again, but we're going to do less salt on this side and more pepper. I like to do 70% salt, 30% pepper on the first side, but on the other side we're going to do 60% salt, 40% pepper. With this you can just sprinkle it. So now that our olive oil is smoking, just put a touch more olive oil. Now we've got our blanched carrots. Here, again, after you've taken out your carrots out of the hot water, you want to put them in an ice bath because this will prevent them from cooking. So now you want to be very careful because these carrots will sizzle. Hear that sound? That is what you want. You don't want any. It's kind of like a steak. Right, so we're just going to season it. Little sprinkles of salt, pepper, and a bit of chili flakes. We're going to do a little bit more chili flakes on this one. Just that, it's a really nice texture. Get that nice sizzle. So we're going to wait until that's just on the point of nearly burning. Because who doesn't like a nice soft carrot? Now you don't want it mushed, otherwise it will go very soggy and all the wetness from your pan. So we're just going to let those fry off. You can flip them every couple of seconds. Now for our radish and red onion pickle, going to get your radishes, tops and bottoms off. After that you're going to slice them a bit chunky, not paper thin, but a bit chunky because it's still there to give it a little bit of crunch but that acidicness from the vinegar. Now our carrots should be ready to turn over. Nope, not yet. I'm just gonna up the heat a little bit. You want it on a medium-high heat. So we're gonna do 3 radishes here. Again, tops and bottoms off. I mean, you can use the tops and bottoms, but I just find it doesn't really give it a nice taste. The texture as well. Now we've done with our radishes, Got a nice red onion here. You can also use shallots, but we're going to use shallots later in our other sauce, so we're just going to slice it quite chunky. Still want a bit more colours on those carrots there. I've turned my heat up to the max, so now with these red onions, I'll come up to the camera and show you. What you're going to do is you're going to pop them out. You see how those layers pop out? That's what we're going to use. So we've got our pickling bowl. I've used rice wine vinegar. You can use any vinegar you like. I just find rice wine, it gives it that nice little texture of the saltiness. We're just going to pop out a couple more radishes, onions. Add your radishes. I like to do 2/3 radishes, 1/3 red onion. It's just because red onion is that very sharp acidic taste, with radish as that peppery heat. So it's not too strong. So that's all ready to be pickled now. Well, is already pickling. Now for our carrots, they should nearly be done. Nope. Have them a little bit more time. So for your shallot sauce, this is all in preparation for the sauce. So you're going to slice some shallots. Now these are like sweet red onions. You can always just use red onions if you can't get your hand on any shallots, but I find shallots, it gives that nice sweetness in the sauce. So just peel the skins off. Again, you can add some sugar if you want to. Now with those carrots, you want to have them on a very, very, very high heat, because if you put them on a too low heat, they start to boil with the olive oil, and what you want is kind of fry them in. So now with your shallots, now the finger rule for cutting, you got 2 fingers behind, the middle finger in front. That knuckle is your protector, so that you don't get your finger sliced off. So you're going to slice them a bit chunky, these shallots, but still fine. We're going to do 2 shallots. Now this is a flambè, so you want to be careful. Make sure that you haven't got a fan. I recommend this doing this outside. Again, if you haven't got a gas cooker, you can use a match. So now we're just going to flip those carrots. Again, they want to be yellow. They don't want to be orange. You want them to be yellow around the middle and in the heart. I've left the tops on because that makes it a nice presentation of the green. Now, for this shallot pan sauce, like I said before, we're going to flambé it. And what I find works nice with shallots is brandy. I've got a little brandy here. It's called a deglazing pan sauce. So once we've fried off our shallots with our other ingredients, we're gonna add the brandy, and that will deglaze it. So you might find, because the alcohol burns off so quickly, you may find that the shallots, there might be a lot of juice left from the brandy. That's gone into the shallots and reduced. And alcohol, remember, if you're doing any reduction or flambé, you have to make sure the alcohol is out and reduced. Otherwise it has that raw taste of alcohol, like a red wine reduction. You need to let it reduce. So shallots done. Now our carrots are done. Just dress them in the oil. So you see those tops, they're still on. You've got a really nice greenery on them. So now, for our shallot sauce, you're gonna heat up a bit of oil. You want that flame as high as possible, because these shallots, again, like the carrots, they will broil instead of frying. And you really want a nice fry, otherwise, again, they turn to mush. So you can add vegetable stock or beef stock, but I'm going to add vegetable stock today. Alright, so we're just going to heat up some more oil. So, instead of using beef stock, I'm going to use demi-glace. Demi-glace is just kind of like a thick beef stock, but it's a nice, sweet, refreshing type of beef stock. So as my oil starts to heat up, we're going to add the steak. Now this is quite a thick cut steak, it's an entrecôte. Now you can pretty much find that in any type of butcher's these days. If you can't, then I recommend getting a sirloin or a flank steak. Again, a flank steak is very, very lean. By lean, I mean that it has literally no fat. So, an entrecôte, or you can even get a ribeye, but ribeyes, it takes quite a lot of time. So now we're just going to add our steak. Now you see all that whiteness. Don't be afraid of that. That is going to render down. So we're going to do 1 minute each side. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. So we're going to do 1 minute each side. Yeah, we're going to do 1 minute each side, and then 2 times. So 2 minutes in total. But because this is such a high heat, I'm going to do 40 seconds. Alright, so I'm going to add a garlic clove. So we're going to slice the garlic clove in half. Now you just want to roast that garlic. And by roast, I mean fry. I mean like seriously fry. Because that flavour from the garlic, now we're keeping the skins on, because that will give it an extra flavour. I got some rosemary that I roasted with some potatoes. Now you just drop that in there. That is absolutely fine right there. If anything, it gives it more flavour, because the flavour from the fat from the last steak that you fried, or in this case potatoes. So we're just going to go in with butter. This, we're going to baste it. If you don't know what basting means, we're going to get a spoon. That's about 1 minute now. So, we're going to tilt the pan, use the pan to your advantage, and we're going to baste. So we're going to get a spoon, put that butter, again, sit that garlic sit that garlic clove on top of the steak. All those garlic cloves, even the bulb. The skins is where you get the most flavour. Even if your rosemary's a bit burnt, absolutely fine. Just going to baste it now. Right, time to flip. This is the last time we're going to flip it because this steak looks absolutely amazing. Just going to test it. Leave it on the board to rest. See that? Well done. Now that is really what you want. So I've got a little bit of unrendered fat there. Render that down. Mop up all the juices. Amazing. So now these are untapped potential right here. Lay our carrots aside. Don't think just because they're burnt, caramelized, whatever you want to call them, they're not okay. Now remember, you need to rest your steak. Otherwise, that steak is not going to cook to medium rare. If you have it rare, you slice it open, it's not going to cook. All the heat comes out of it. Right, so we're just going to heat up some more oil. Again, those flavours from the pan that you wiped out, they're still there. They're still there, you just can't see them. We're going to add shallots. On the verge of getting your shallots crispy. Just on the verge, because that pan should be piping hot. When I mean piping, I mean like a barbecue hot. Because, again, like we said, I'm mentioning this a bunch of times, that the shallots, they will boil just like the carrots. So now, I'm going to add garlic, rosemary. And, can you guess it? Butter. That butter just opens up the fats from that garlic. Now this, I'm just going to put the mic over here. Again, this alcohol will burn off so quickly, you think, oh, you're scared of fire. This is flavour, not fire. Beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Where's that flavour gone? It's gone into the shallots and the garlic and the rosemary. Now, to finish it off, demi-glace. Beautiful. Again, salt, pepper. Pepper, chili flakes, a bit of salt. Let that reduce. Because once you let it reduce, that is absolutely amazing right there. Because the flavour sucks out those shallots and garlic. I'm going to have a clear down. I'll see you back. Now we've added the demi-glace. Put that heat really low, like until you see just 2 flames. So that now that our steak is rested, that would have finished up, carried on cooking now. We're going to let that sit there on the board. Now, if you don't see enough bubbles, just turn it up a little bit, just a little bit. Because if you turn it up too much, then it's just not nice. It will take away all the flavour from the shallots and garlic and rosemary. Absolutely delicious. Remember, you can put it back in the pan. Give that a nice stir. That's just amazing right there. Just going to turn up the heat a little bit. Right, to plate. We're going to get our carrots. Place them diagonally. Don't want any of the bashing, just putting them on there. Placing them all diagonal, all in little places. So you want to really see how that's brought up back to the heat. That is amazing. I made a little fennel salad here. You think fennel has to be cooked, right? I was experimenting. Soak fennel in an ice bath for an hour. It becomes soft, but still a little bit of crunch. I also add a little bit of daikon in there. If you're wondering what daikon is, it's a kind of like a less heated radish. So we're going to put 4 scoops fennel salad. Now I dress this, you think, oh, it's not going to be nice, just raw. You're right, it is not nice raw, believe me. Olive oil, make sure you use a nice olive oil, not light olive oil. Make it a really, really nice olive oil. Now, our pickled radishes and red onion. I place red onion, radish on the side, radish on the side, radish next to this fennel salad, red onion next to the fennel salad. Get a couple more radishes, red onions. Place 1, place 4. Let that reduce down. Now you think, now that the shallots are soggy, oh, this is not going to be nice, the sauce isn't going to be nice. No, it is very nice. Just go a little drizzle of olive oil over the top. So turn your heat off. Try it. Delicious. See, that brandy has reduced now because of the flambè and the fact that I've been boiling it for the past minute or 3 minutes on a very, very low heat. Now, I'm going to get my jug that I have my demi-glace in, tilt the pan, just pour that in. You can always strain it, but I find the shallots in there give it another texture. Get about 4 to 5 tablespoons in there. Alright, now we have some lovely jasmine flowers that I've been growing. They are absolutely amazing. Fortunately, unfortunately, they're not edible to eat. But this just makes it look nicer on a whole nother level. So after you placed about 3 or 4, again, make sure that the flour you're using is not poisonous, because if so, it will just ruin the whole dish. Just going to pour over. Beautiful. I think we're done, aren't we? No, we're not. Got a little bit of whole grain mustard, because the sweetness from those shallots. Now just place it on top of those pickled radishes, pickled red onions. It's kind of like caviar, but it's just makes the dish look so much more nicer. Now you can do this with a quail's egg. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. Put your sauce items, your shallots, everything, to a bowl. Don't strain all that liquid off because that is just amazing right there. Set your dish aside. Get your quail's egg. Again, a little bit of olive oil. Not too much because this is such a small egg. Now there will be quite a thick skin, just pierce it lightly, so lightly. It's just so amazing how a quail's egg is just so small and it looks so delicate and beautiful. If your egg white is going a little bit overboard, just scramble it into the middle, closer to the yolk. Again, you can do this without an egg. Sometimes I hard boil it. I'm going to have a clear down. I'll see you when the finished product looks like. Okay, get a spoon. Lightly, very lightly, put your shallot sauce over the egg. Those shallots are just amazing. Again, you can make a pea puree, pretty much anything you can make with this dish. Again, you can replace elements out. I find these are the flavours that go the nicest together. Place that quail's egg just in the middle. Turn your gas off. Now, if that is not a dish to die for, that is just amazing right there. Just look at that. You've got the heat from the carrots, how you added the chili flakes. You've got the sourness and the acidicness from the radishes and the red onion. And you've got your nice creaminess from the rendered down steak and the egg. And you got that nice freshness because this is all a bit acidic and fatty. So you got that nice freshness from the Fennel Salad. And the dressing, I forgot to tell you, is 2/3 olive oil, 1/3 balsamic, and a little bit of lemon or lime zest. Right, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you did, definitely subscribe. And I'm going to go eat this, and I'll see you later.